Good evening, everybody. Right now, 7:04 p.m. and today is March 10th, 2021, and this begins today's Equity Committee tonight. My name is Darrell Bowen, and I am the chairman of the Equity Committee. I'm joined with Edit Naomi, and we have our guest speaker, Salsa, that'll be on the call with us today, in our meeting today. And so let's begin. First and foremost, I want to start out by saying that there's a couple changes right now. This committee no longer has Christian or Paula on our committee at this time anymore. Paula is no longer part of the community board. Christian is. He's just no longer part of the committee. So the committee is comprised of myself, Naomi, Edit, and Lisa Soto. So being that said, I wanted to say that we do not have anybody in the gallery tonight, which is okay. Maybe next time. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen really briefly. All right. So let us. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. 1 second. Just trying to get the agenda. All right. So last month we had the meeting minutes for last month, which is January. That was our last meeting. And I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Right here. Here we go. Share my screen. Here we go. All right. So last meeting that we had was in January. And so everybody hopefully got the chance to see the minutes of January's meeting. It was a robust meeting. We started at 7:05. We ended around 7:51. We talked about a lot of things, which was a very interesting meeting. So whenever you get a chance, to review that. But right now, I want to put a motion on the table to approve January 13, 2021 minutes. All in favor? All right.
Aye.
Aye. So I was supposed to get a second, but Naomi, you can second.
Okay.
All right. So we're all in favor. So passed unanimously. January 2021 meeting minutes. So let's move forward in our agenda tonight. All right, you guys have the agenda up boards right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so tonight's agenda, we're going to start off with our first item right now. Let's begin. All right, here we go. First agenda items. Here we go. So current inequities. Second agenda item is going to be PPE vaccinations of hard hit districts. That is an ongoing conversation and topic that we're going to continue to have. And that's very, very important that we continue to talk about this because right now PPE is an ongoing issue in a lot of our hardest hit districts within the confines of Community Board 11. And right now, I'm trying to work with people on the ground, local leaders, to see how we can join and be participants of, trying to hand out more PPE. And another thing is vaccinations in the hard hit districts. The last thing that we did bring up in the last call, I don't know if you heard me on the meeting, on the last board meeting, when I was talking to Councilwoman, I believe, one of the councilwomen, Vanessa Gibson, when we were talking about, what are they going to do about collateral and educating the community regarding vaccinations? Because, we have situations where people are not wearing masks. So if they're not going to wear a mask, how are we going to get them vaccinated is a big issue, where the smallest percentage of people of color and all sorts of communities are not getting the vaccine versus, other cultures, particularly some of our, other people that are getting the vaccines over the community. So this is a situation where it has to be, equitably distributed throughout the community. And this is something that I want local officials to work on. And one primary way to do that is to what I've been seeing lately, all of you have been seeing online, was information sessions about vaccinations and COVID-19. A lot of you have been seeing that. Naomi,
Mhm.
you and I had conversations about this.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
that's
I
important.
wanted to interject. I
Go
did
ahead.
see something, and I didn't get to write it down. I did see something on the television where there's some non-for-profits that are giving out PPE.
Yes.
So we may want to connect with them as well.
All right, we can look into that because I want to, but part of this committee, I told you guys is I want to be active within the community. So yeah, Naomi, if you can give some more information about that, that'll be highly appreciated. Because
Yep, I'll
I
look
try
into
to
it.
do definitely, I try to do as much volunteering as possible, as all of us should in our busy lives. Try to get that going. So I appreciate that. We'll connect with that as well.
Okay.
Edit, you could be glad to join us if you like. All the community members are welcome to join once we get that situated. Another thing with the vaccination COVID-19 information session, I actually been in contact with Jeremy about, and I forwarded you guys over the email tonight that I'm trying to get a Montefiore representative to join one of our meetings to actively, talk about information about COVID-19. It doesn't have to be long, but a little presentation about how we could go about getting in, how do we get information in the hands of our community, of the hardest hit communities in our district. And hopefully we'll have somebody to join us next month in our next meeting. So that is definitely going to be on the table. I definitely wanted to, talk about that. And any comments, Naomi? You have anything you want to put in on that? How do you feel about that? Have an information session on our next meeting.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we're going to continue to talk to. I'm working with Jeremy about that. I think we can make it happen next meeting. So let's look at that and let's see how that goes. Um, the next agenda item I'm going to move forward to is district demographics. Okay. Um, right now we do have former CB11 intern Salsa on our call tonight. Salsa is one of the youngest members that was an intern who just, she graduated college. She was an intern on CB11, former intern, and she's doing some great things in the community. I read the Bronx Times article. It was fascinating. And, a woman of color, and, the diversity within the confines of our community is a beautiful thing. I love it. And, I want to hear a little bit more about what what your whole goal is, Salsa. Why did you want to join the community board? And by the way, Salsa actually put in an application to join the board, which is amazing. Go ahead, Salsa.
So hi, little Squidward. There's a bit of, I think you might have to mute yourself. Okay, that's good. So my name is Cercibela Sludway. I also go by Salsa. I was an intern for Community Board 11. And I started interning around like August, July of 2019. And currently, I am a first year at Barnard College of Columbia University, and I'm hoping to study in cellular and molecular biology on the pre-med track. And I think my goals, my professional goals, and my goals within this community kind of go hand in hand, which is to assist people, which is why I absolutely love everything about the medical field and why I am driven to be part of it. And so, being able to apply the stuff that I learned in school and in the professional environment, I'm hoping to apply in my own community, in my local community. And so growing up, I've always been involved in my local mosque, which is the Bronx Muslim Center, because my dad is the sheikh there. But regardless, whenever I have attended there or been part of that family, and I saw one of the questions was like, what do you think of a community? What is a community? Or what's the first thing that you think of when you think of community? And it's family. And being part of something so great and amazing, you always want to support your family. You want to see them thrive and always want to see them in the best conditions. And so that's why I am happy to be here. And that's why I want to see improvements and changes and have all of their needs met. You're muted.
You're on mute.
Sorry, amazing. I said amazing. Salsa, I appreciate that. We look forward to, if you get accepted, which I most likely think you will be accepted to community board. through the application process. We will look forward. You have an invitation. If you want to be on this committee, you have an open invitation. I will, extend my hand to you. A lot of our younger, the younger generation, people that is in college, to me, this is a very good thing because you're actively trying to get involved with your community. And this is what it looks like to actively get engaged in the community is being a part of a community board. Most people don't even know what this is. And so I commend you at this young age. And, when I read that article, it was fascinating. I was like, we need more people in our community that's actively trying to get engaged, starting from high school, because you guys are the future of the community board. You're the future. Being that said, let's go to the next agenda item that I wanted to go to. And thank you, Salsa, for joining on to our meeting. You hang on. You have some time to hang on to see the rest of our meeting. That's great.
Yes,
Perfect. All right, let me share my screen. The next agenda item. All right, so the next agenda item is our outreach to schools update. So as many of you know, I started to email the education committee, in which I gave all of you guys and forwarded it over the email regarding some of those things, and all of you should have it. And pretty much, I spoke to one of the members, and she and I had a conversation. And she liked, some of the ideas of where we're trying to go with the student outreach program with this committee. And it's all it is an initiative to reach out to as many students as possible. That's particularly in high school, hopefully 12th grade, or entering to college. We have a handful of schools that we're going to start reaching out to and emailing. And if once Salsa gets onto the community board and she's interested in the committee, this is something that I think that we will take a lot of advice from you to see what students will be attracted to that will get their interest to be on it, to get civically involved. So one of the things I wanted to show you guys really briefly was my screen real quick. This is the situation with the student outreach. So this is the survey. This is what it's going to look like. As you can see, student's name, the date, the school, the grade level, and answer and follow questions. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word community? Do you know about 311? Do you know the local elected official who represents your community? What changes would you like to see in your community? Do you know what a community board is? And the whole objective is we're going to send this to the teachers, through an email template that I'm going to send as the chairman of the committee to certain schools in which we are, and as you've seen in the email, is certain schools in our district, like, St. Catherine's, I believe, and some other high schools in the district that we're going to start targeting and reach out to. We have some emails of the teachers and see what they're thinking to garner some interest. And if that works, we can invite them on.
I just have a suggestion. I don't know if you're going to add anything, but if you can add a question or two about one, would you like to intern on this community board, or would you like to be a part of the community board? If they're 18 and over, something like that, so that we can start. If they are interested, then we can talk to them, like call them and try to, get them through the process.
Naomi, you can email that to me whenever you get a chance. Some suggestions, and anybody on the committee can email me about that. So that way we can actually modify this before I send anything out. That's a great suggestion. I like that idea. I just don't want to write it down right now for the sake of time, but whenever you get a chance.
I'll email it to you, no problem.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we're working on that, and we'll be in contact with the education committee and be working with the members there ongoing, because this is important to me. The youth is the future of our community board. I see somebody, Mr. Kenny, who's on the call on our meeting.
That's Ken Gelman.
Kel Gelman. All right.
Ken Gelman.
Ken Gelman. Thank you so much. So we're going to put your name down in the minutes. Ken Gelman is on the call. He's active board member. Thank you.
Yep, got it.
All right, Ken. All right. So thanks for being on, by the way. Another thing, thanks. Another agenda item I'm gonna go over right now. Let's move forward. So how you guys feeling about the survey?
I like it. I think it's a great idea.
That it's a great idea. Kind of one question: do you want to do it anonymously? Would that get you more responses and not more accurate responses?
Interesting. I'll put that into consideration. Anonymously. All right. I'll put that in consideration. I gotta ask Jeremy about that too, because he kind of wants me to announce that I'm the chairman of the equity committee and all that. So we'll see. Let me share my screen one more last time. All right. All right. So that's all I have for that. So the outreach is something that we're going to continue to work on. So the things that we're going to work on the most, like I said, is trying to get a guest speaker for our next meeting. That's something that I want to do, is get the guest speaker from Montefiore to talk about vaccinations. I feel like our community needs to further be educated about that ongoing. Because I mean, it's going to take a lot of education ongoing with this, and so we can get out of this pandemic. Things are looking bright. I don't know if you guys feel good about this thing, but I feel like it's a bright light at the end of the tunnel with this pandemic. As a senior millennial, as myself, and others can attest to this, anybody born in the 80s somewhere is a senior millennial, right? I actually feel that we've gone through so many things over our lifetime that we've seen, anywhere from 9/11, you remember the blackout in 2003, all the way the financial crisis to a pandemic that happens one time in like 100 years. So if we can hang in there, and anybody, cry, if you know anybody crying out for help, definitely be there for them, because this is a time for mental, crisis as well. So being that said, anybody has any suggestions? Anybody want to say anything? Naomi, you have any other suggestions?
I don't have any other suggestions. In terms, like, I just think that we need to just make sure that people understand where the resources are or where to go. I know, like I was saying before, I was very upset that what I went through, and that's why people are not, interested. So we need to make it accessible. We need to push our the city council and the congresswomen and the congressmen to make sure it's accessible in the Bronx. This is we have the highest rate. So we have to push them.
I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. So the next thing, like I said, we're trying to get a Montefiore representative to be on our call to give us a COVID relief, information more about COVID vaccinations. Tomorrow, by the way, Jeremy emailed everybody. I don't know if everybody saw that, but tomorrow there is a call. Apparently, there's a call about the information about COVID. There's an information session with Councilmember Jonai, with Jacoby and CB11. There was a Zoom link at 6 p.m. for tomorrow if anybody's interested. Hopefully, I'll hop on that call just to hear what they're talking about. That's important so we can constantly be educated about this. And Naomi, thanks for letting me know how that goes tomorrow with the shot.
Yeah, I will definitely.
I'm definitely going to get mine soon. My job actually pays for us to take the time to get it. So I'm going to work on doing that very, very soon because I want to get back to normal life. Go ahead.
At Yankee Stadium is basically is on 24/7. They're giving.
Are they taking everybody though?
I mean, I'm not sure, like, if you qualify, based.
I know Jacob Javits sent us. You could say anything. You could say you have high blood pressure. You could say anything. They'll take you. So I might go there.
With the one at Yankee Stadium, like, you have to go on Somos. It's SOMOS. If you Google Somos Yankee Stadium, it brings you to the page where you can actually sign up for it. It does ask you certain questions, and but it was like super smooth, honestly. Like,
Cool. And I heard they're doing the Johnson and Johnson. They're doing the one-shotters over there too.
Yeah.
yeah, I got the Pfizer there, but I know that they're doing Johnson and Johnson and Pfizer.
And see, I had a totally different experience with that. So almost
Hey.
there were no there was no schedule. There was nothing I could schedule.
Really?
Wow.
It was, and I called the number, nobody picked up. There was nothing.
Really?
Wow.
Weird.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was lucky because the day I checked, there were just a ton available. But I think they went by fast. So
Interesting. All right. Well,
but I'm glad you're getting it.
it's still going. It's going to get better. You know, remember when the COVID first happened, we couldn't find no masks, and then now masks galore. It's everywhere. So eventually, I think the vaccines and all that other stuff is going to get easier to get.
No, I absolutely believe there's a positive. It's going to get better and better, and hopefully everyone get vaccinated, and we can, join each other again at some point in time.
Yeah, I agree.
This year, so hopefully it's definitely getting better, because now I'm going onto those sites now and I'm seeing a whole bunch of open slots. So
absolutely. But one thing I wanted to say, last but not least, edit. I just got a text from Lisa. Lisa said she couldn't make it, so I want to put her as excused. Okay.
I'll put that down.
Because it's work related. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
Lisa Soto. The last but not least, there's no gallery session for the first time in a while, so nobody's in the gallery. So the next agenda item is old business. U.S. Census is still ongoing. We're following that closely because, that is something that impacts our district and our community. So we want to know the new details of the demographics and stuff like that. So we're waiting on that. And the gender gap discussion is also another tabled item from old business. I'm still trying to get a councilwoman, the councilwoman who's in charge of that legislation, to our meeting. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful to do that. I'm still going to work on that. So, because we need an explanation of why that's not being moved forward. So that's another agenda item. And anybody has any new business? Naomi, you have any new business or edit? Okay. Any further questions? Right now. Perfect. Any further questions? All right. So being that said, I'd like to put out a motion to end tonight's equity meeting.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I just want to make sure I mention this, that we were talking about like what I guess our foundation is going to be, like certain things that we're going to be working on. Did you want to talk about that a little bit, or we want to wait till next time? So
you talk about as far as some of the items I was talking about, like PPE and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and then like with the government, that they have their own equity department, and they're going to be working on certain like resources, and they're going to be working on making sure that everyone has equity in terms of real estate, redlining, things like that.
Absolutely. What we're going to do is continue to work on that. I want to ask more questions because remember, we have a lot of politicians coming on to these calls, our local officials. We need more questions. I don't know about you. Well, you've seen I've been grilling some of them. So
yes, yes, you have.
This is ongoing questions that we need to answer. And yes, but for the most part, I want to do the controllables. The one thing that we want to focus on definitely is trying to get associated with other organizations and regarding PPE and vaccination sites and information.
Okay.
So that is one of the biggest things. And then the student outreach is the biggest component that I think we need to focus on as well. And other equitable things will continue to occur and go on, approach, and we deal with it. But these are the biggest agenda items that I want to focus on. That me, you and I both discussed, and everybody's discussed. I discussed with Edit as well about that. So for sure.
Okay.
And don't forget to email me those questions, those additional questions. I appreciate you for that. So being that said, I would like to do a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Can I get a second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, all right. So meeting adjourned tonight. Right now, 7:29, and that ends tonight's equity committee meeting. Thank you, guys, and good night, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good
Good
one.
night.
All right, guys,
And
take care.
it was nice meeting you, Salsa.
It was nice meeting you too. Hope to see you guys
And
in
which
the
mosque? Wait, which mosque do you guys go to?
Wrong